I currently have an assessment for you about visions and about adultery. Visions aren't a plan, and I suspect it's because the way adultery affects the spirit of the body and mind. And it's really more of an assessment than a revelation. I'm not sure what a revelation is, but I when I read the Bible, I read to an extent about adultery and not like knowing that the dangers are inherently like were inherently the commandment that God alone is number one. Idols compete with that adultery. But I happen to think it's the visions aspect that is affected by a climate of adultery, through the seams of which an enemy could sow exception and materialism and different things that would affect the vision of the average uh, consummate couple, or and corrupt them, or go to the uh, person who wants peace and sow a heart of violence, or like get people to become angry or bitter about what life has dealt them, or like it doesn't seem to, like when I this is more of just a playground for me to um mentally jog the rotations and movements of perspective. But I take the Bible's word at it that adultery interferes. But then there was Jesus who came and died for our sins and totally rewrote the context for the Old Testament. So I'm not a biblical scholar, but I can tell you that sometimes my mind chews on something and can't let it go. And I've devoted a lot of attention and energy into music and pop culture, and um, ingesting it, but not really gaining any knowledge. And the outcome of my life has been a mess, an absolute mess. I got shot in the face with a directed energy weapon. I got involved in a plot, government plot, an experiment involving congressmen and celebrities. I've been shot for attempted burglary, and I've been addicted to drugs for 20 years, and I'm mentally ill. My life, like have done really bad stuff. Like I knowingly like through a glory. I don't even know how to put it without giving you a vision or a image that I don't want to give you. But there's been the worst stuff, uh, in my life, and I'm I found grace in the seams. I don't know what that grace feels like. I've described it in another video, falling and being caught, like falling backwards and being caught, or being dipped into water and by John the Baptist. like himself, like just total overflowing, like like nothing matters, your identity, where you fit, the role you play. Like I got called an asshole 3 times today by 3 different people, like that I barely know. And like that's not a testament to God. That's like a testimony about like um how brutal my life has been. And my whole purpose in talking about visions and their danger is that I had visions for that attempted burglary and I got shot 4 times and I can't walk but and and I can't use my left hand. See, this is my left hand. It's proof it doesn't open or close. So and the whole government stuff, like I didn't know what they wanted. I thought they were just messing with me, but um, trying out different schemes in mental hospitals, and um, it's all been kind of touched upon in congressional hearings. MK Ultra is something that they apply, but I'd rather not get entangled back in that. I found some peace in my life. It's kind of a done deal that you know, was a success for that program, um, for that application. So the reason why I go and I say, hey, that guy's a wolf, and I'm kind of the one who's, as I find like a relief or a grace in God that like I can run the end of my rope and identity and roll and still find slack to continue on, but you have to do a few things right along the way. You have to show some good grace to God, not because that's when he'll show it back. Actually, what's hidden in the dark is less likely to, just during certain seasons. It's really beyond my understanding. I I feel like at peace ever since like I did that attempted burglary, and that's been something that surpasses my understanding wholeheartedly. I never planned for that like to happen. It's just I got bumped by some mafias, and I honestly would rather make peace with them, or extend Islam to them, and like you know and brotherhood. But I just think that like I just want to finish out my probation and do what I can to inspire or motivate, try real service. I've tried like volunteering at and cleaning soup kitchens, and it's so hard. Service is so hard. I'm not bred for that. I mean, I feel like I'm a lion. Um, but I'm like a cuck beta in reality, and that's what everyone recognizes me as. and that's what I am. But like when the winds of God come, like watch out. Like he will just tear up criminals, like do a dash them into 1,000 pieces and throw them in the wind, just through the grindstones of church and mafias and like he they they try to say that Jesus came and rewrote the Old Testament, but and through the visions and the climate of adultery tainting the sanctity and beauty of certain things by the devil, ownership and humiliation became ritual and the vestiges of civilization led by fantasy. And that's adultery. And I just want to say that, thank you for watching my videos. Stay tuned because, I'm not a shepherd, and I want to, my post is paramilitary, even though I have no military skills. Like, it's just, that's my post, like a citizen with certain responsibilities. But it's not to bring, like, God, like my will through visions that are tainted by adultery. It's to bring the will of the Bible, which is not in favor of adultery, for a nation that follows the word and thus has a steadfast stronghold on planning, rationalism, logic, clean, and can navigate the messy waters of the world and corruption, and can rewrite our loyalty to a constitution which really benefits us all, even though like there's corruption and mafias and there's an ends to the world, there's an ends to the material world. Sooner or later you're gonna have to cuck yourself to accommodate a bigger force because empires rise and fall. It's better to circumnavigate the globe through a lens of Christianity or Islam or whatnot, and team with Islam in the United States than it is to just wave a magic wand on profiteering off of like teenage girls and just chomping at the bit for like pennies on the dollar. There's so much more profit in like religion and provision from God, and that'll take over the innovation cycle. And there's the machine. I've seen the machine tainted by adultery, and I've seen the machine that says, okay, these people are prominent because the fame is mission critical, and the machine with the mission critical aspects is more like gonna get more souls into heaven, I suspect, because it's following biblical principle or Islamic, paradise. I've had visions of it, but I'm not too hot on visions. If you can't tell, I like embracing the free will that God has given, not consulting him, and being called an asshole by you. No, I don't like that, but I have to get used to it because it's been happening for 35 years. Okay. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.